Contact the website idiubu.me. Yes, I go and purchase the t-shirts, caps, bags. Let's do this for the cause of the Most High Nature Ellis representing. Big respect in the mic. Yeah. Express yourself. Everyone should be able to express themselves freely. That's done, they free the dog. Yeah. Freedom. IBIUBU. Free the dog. So that they can speak. Nature Ellis, I said, free the dog. Yeah. Freedom. Free the dog. You should be free to speak. Yeah. We need free speech so that the messenger can teach. So the people realize their crooked lives. That's the natural messenger. Him play good music round ya. That's the natural messenger. Messenger of truths and rights. Yeah. Free the dog. Yeah. Freedom. IBIUBU. Free the dog. So that they can speak. Nature Ellis, I said, free the dog. That's not come for freedom. Free the dog. You should be free to speak, yeah. Tough like a Marcos speech, like the whalers lyrics. Rough like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King speech. So many lose their lives because they speak the truth. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King got executed, but still we have to free the dog.
Freedom! Nature Ellis, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're having a great Saturday morning. Good morning, Dr. Rutherford. Thanks for that great introduction.
Free the dog. Yeah. Freedom. Mikey Lossa said we free the dog so that they can speak, yeah. Yes, the Orthodox teach so you can learn. Yes, yeah. Yes, the Bingy man teach so you can learn. Yes, the Bobo man teach so you can learn. Yes, Doc's Donna play music so you can learn. Yeah, free the dog. Yeah, Doc's done come for freedom. Nature Ellis has to free the dog so that they can speak. Yeah, free the dog. Yeah, freedom. IBIUBU. Free the dog. You should be free to speak. Yeah.
I believe we absolutely need to be free to speak.
Let's create our own reality. Big respect in that's done. I'm here to go and purchase your t-shirts, your caps, your bags. Go and check out the website idiubu.me. Nature Ellis has said that. We come here to free the dog. Freedom. Free the dog so that they can speak.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you, Nature Ellis. You know that I love that song, and not because he's bigging me up and giving me credit. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be here this morning. With me is my lovely partner in life.
Thank you, Dax. Good morning, everybody.
What do you think about freedom?
I think that's the foundation of everything.
Is it?
You know, it is. I mean, even the freedom to breathe.
Mm.
You know, when people sometimes are dealing with some sort of sickness and they're not able to breathe properly, walk properly, talk properly. I think freedom is the foundation of everything.
So your health is your wealth.
Yep, absolutely. And through that, you experience everything else. But the first thing that I feel where freedom begins is your health.
Mm-hmm. So where you start? What? You know, I'll tell you my journey. I remember going to the doctor in Jamaica, and it was as a kid, a pediatric pediatric doctor. And I remember telling him that my friends who grew up in the country were taking, worm out because they took it every year before going back to school. And I remember distinctly that, those are old time things. Nobody needs to do that anymore. To come full circle, to know that our health is totally dependent on the balance of the parasites and microbiome in our body. That if you are sick, it's cancer. It's very likely that there's a high level of parasites living in your body, and that there is a process that through natural herbs, through natural medicine, Cersei tea, busy tea, some very affordable local remedies that just require some education, that you have to educate, or you have to re-educate yourself, because you have learned to fear nature. You have learned to fear, the outside. Well, Vanya, you like walking on the grass?
I do. I'm just afraid of the thorns.
You're afraid.
I like the grass,
Yeah.
but the thorns, my feet just...
You're too delicate.
No, it's just different people are sensitive to different things.
And guess what? That's true. That's her reality, and certain people, I have had so many people look at Cersei and tell me that Cersei is poison. Good morning, Mr. Egan. I tell Steve about Cersei and its benefits, Anybody out there want to call in and talk about Cersei, you're welcome to call 954-394-9045. I'll be here till 9 o'clock. You're welcome to talk about natural health and natural medicine. And if you have a product that you want to promote and sell, but I'm not selling anything. I'm talking about the freedom to be well, the freedom to not let things like, well, I cannot afford the doctor visit, I cannot afford this test, I cannot afford certain procedures to prevent you from experiencing wellness. I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be that way. But you got to change your mind. You got to reprogram yourself. And if you're watching us on Facebook, you're seeing me in this really nice shirt. I put it on, and Vanya said, you look like an Indian villager. And I said, I got to wear it on the show. I am as natural as they come, an Indian villager, to tell you, hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're here with us this morning. Vanya, what do you want to talk about this morning?
Well, lots to talk about, Dax. The market continues to amaze us with everything that is going on. And I know people have questions, and we are here. So, like Dax said, any questions and any clarifications you need that you feel we're not addressing, you can reach out to us personally, but you can always call us. But
sorry. Something you asked for clarification. A gentleman called me a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about homeowners insurance. Homeowners association fees. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. HOAs.
Right.
And he was saying that, no, he definitely didn't think they were necessary, and he didn't like the idea of them. And I think where we could agree is that he was talking about where the house is in a development where...
Two different kinds.
Yes.
And, I would love to go over both of them. Right. There are benefits for both of them, actually.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about, a house is in a community, like we have in West Miramar, Weston, everything is in a community.
Yes.
That's just how the city was developed.
Right.
There are very few single-family homes that are not in a community. There, yes, you have a maintenance fee that can range anywhere from $150 to as much as $300 a month. And what is that for? That is for, securing the property, because it's a gated community. No one can just walk inside the property.
Right.
And when I say security is tight, I mean it is really tight. And a lot of people like that idea. They just don't want anyone just to show up at their door.
Sure.
They want to know who's coming, who's going.
Right.
Along with that, they also provide a lot of maintenance to the community itself. And what that does is the people who always wonder about that maintenance fee, I'll ask them one simple question. You would notice that those properties are more expensive
Right.
than a property that is a single family home. Take Miramar, for example. You have East Miramar, where right by the University Drive, you have primarily single family homes with no association.
Right.
And they're huge homes,
Yes.
over 2,000 square feet, because they were built long ago.
Right.
They don't make them like that anymore.
So that would be my answer. That is because they're older, why they're cheaper.
Absolutely not, because when you go to this area where there are gated communities, you'll hardly find a 2,700 square feet home.
They're smaller.
They're smaller,
Right.
but they're more expensive.
Right.
Yes, the age matters, but what also matters is how they're placed, what the structure is. There is a premium when you're in a gated community. And I see that a lot in Port St. Lucie area, especially, So what that provides is some people like that they're buying in a very secure environment. There's somebody to cut the lawn. They don't have to worry about it.
Right.
The community's kept really nice. No one can leave their, bulk furniture out for days for it to be picked up. The gardens have to be maintained a certain way, and then the painting, the maintenance of the house itself is governed by a body that in turn results in you securing a high-end property.
And I'm interrupting you to tell you that the guy who called me, the most important thing to him was freedom. That he wants the free. He doesn't need somebody to tell him how his home should be managed. He wants to make that decision on his own.
Right, and therein lies the fault when the house was being sold to him, because.
No, he's not complaining.
He was just
He's just saying, how could I promote homeowners associations when he would give up so much freedom, when we really were not talking about those developments. We were talking about condos. And
that's my favorite.
And that's where people get...
I love to clarify that one.
Yeah.
People who sit there in today's world with the inflation being where it is, insurance costs being so high as they are, and they're going, oh my God, this condo charges $500 maintenance fee.
Right.
Guys, try to find, let's get started. Basic cable, basic internet, security, entire building and roof insurance, water, trash, and outside maintenance, all of that in $500 a month.
Right.
Please try and find that. You can't.
Yeah.
It is $500, and it seems outrageous that I'm buying a $150,000 condo and I have a $500 maintenance fee. Well, look at the items it is covering.
Sure.
Plus, these buildings must be maintained. They're not like a single family home. Their maintenance requirements are different.
Sure.
You don't want them falling apart, falling down.
Right.
So they have to go through the 40-year recertification. There's just so much in that. And a lot of people are very worried and angry because they're getting hit with assessments.
Because the association was not collecting enough to do the work that needed to be done. Now that deferred maintenance is popping up, now the insurance, there's this idea.
More than that.
There's this idea that insurance is there to cover anything that goes wrong in your house. And I think that's not true. Your insurance will cover accidents and catastrophes that happen, but the deferred maintenance, like replacing your roof, the idea that don't worry, at some point we're going to get the insurance company to give you a new roof, is a bad idea. Good morning, Miss Carol. Good morning, Milton Bell. Good morning, Mr. Carl Bell Navis. Good to have you guys on. I know you guys are out there listening in WAVS land. We're talking to those guys checking us out on Facebook as well. If you're listening in this morning, I want to let you know we're here every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. My name is Dax, D-A-X. Dunn, D-U-N-N, and with me is Vanya Chopra. Yes, the same one like Deepak Chopra I mentioned him a couple of weeks ago, but I'm still very suspect about him. Who I'm actually excited about is Deion Sanders and what he's doing over there in Colorado. Are you following up on that, Vanya?
SAR deleted all news apps from my phone. I am completely, except the finance and mortgage and real estate related.
Well,
so I'm completely, and it was getting to me. I am living a happier life.
Well, Deion Sanders is a retired football superstar as well as baseball.
Yeah, that I
superstar.
know.
He played both sports.
Yeah.
And he's become a coach and is just taken on the Colorado team.
Okay.
And has promised to turn it around and, brought
That
in a
should
whole
be-
lot of new guys and
That
he's
should be
actually doing
interesting.
well,
That should be interesting.
So,
Yes.
yeah. Listen, let's let our not our sponsor. Let's let the messenger give you a message.
Yeah, no sponsors here.
Greetings. This is Luciano the Messenger, and I got this message for you. No matter where you are in the world, sunshine beaches and reggae music is nice, especially in South Florida. And if you're ever looking for opportunities in South Florida for real estate, remember to call Dax Dunn at 954-866-2171 or visit them at daxdunn.com and tell them you were sent by Luciano, the messenger. Oh, Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. As I said, the number to call is 954-866-2171. Dax Dunn, and it messenger says so.
No, it's true, Luciano telling you the truth. That's done, and it done. After that, you're good. You don't have anything to worry about. Why? Because we take care of the entire process from start to finish. This is where we start. What do you want? What is really important to you? We give you the freedom to figure it out. That we're not here telling you, this is what you can get, this is what you need to do, and this is where you have to stay. No. We're saying, hey, where do you want to be? Everything has a price. We're going to help you to understand the process and the price to get exactly what you want step by step. It doesn't, and this is the beauty, it doesn't cost you anything. It does not cost you anything to get a clear, comprehensive plan about what you can get and what you need to do. I want to big up Duke of Earl. I heard his ad just before. And, I was telling him about the need for transformation. That there is, not the need, there is a financial transformation. What would you say, Vanya? Do you feel that there is a transition from a lot of great properties that you wouldn't even think would come into the market are now coming up? You told me about a duplex that you saw yesterday. Mm-hmm. Great opportunity. Triplex. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking out there for investment properties, I'm telling you, fix and flip.
That's not the game anymore, guys, because when the demand is so high and inventory is low, that is when at least all the deals that we are finding and putting together, those are very unique deals.
And there are cash buyers out there.
There are cash buyers.
They're finicky. Milton, hey, we're going to sort it out. We're going to get you another buyer.
I want to share a story of a client, today that is just so amazing. As you know, I go to India every year in December, and I was working with them before I went to India. And this story is strange because it doesn't really take me that long to get somebody into a house if they're ready. And they come to me through one of really good friends. And we started looking in November, October end, and they just were not ready to finalize anything. And I showed them a property in Plantation, and really nice property in the Plantation, around the Plantation Heritage Park, again, big size homes, really well kept, no association, but one of those rare communities that they don't make it like that anymore. And that house was listed for $485,000.
Right.
And it was really nicely remodeled. Mm-hmm. It was nice, really nice. They liked it. I contacted the agent, and the agent said, I like how you're presenting the details of your client to me. So absolutely, go ahead and send the offer, and I look forward to working with you.
Right.
Now, that's a big deal when an agent says that, because they've probably had a quick discussion with their seller, so they're kind of giving me an assurance, you know. So I went back to them, and they just were like, we're going to think about it a little bit. Mm-hmm. They came back to me 3 days later, and the agent had already sold the property.
Right.
Showed them a few more after that, and we came to a decision, me and my team, that they're really not ready. Because as you know, our clients within 2 to 3 weeks find the property when we're representing them as buyer's agents. Well, they contacted me this week saying that they're ready and they want to buy a home. So we went to see a house on the same street and just 2 houses down. When I say it's falling apart, that's an understatement. The roof was, they already said the roof is not going to be, it's not going to make it. You're not going to get insurance, and we're not going to give you a new roof.
Right.
And it was listed $25,000 more than the one they had let go. Because they thought when they let go of that, they're paying too much, interest rates are high, the market will crash, and then they're going to step back into the market.
Right.
And let me tell you, when we stepped into that house, they could cry. They were like, they literally used the word.
Yeah.
They said, we have been such fools that we're sitting there looking at everything. And even though the rates have gone up, you know, Dax, the rates that we had in December were higher right now. The rates we had in November last year were higher, absolutely. Still, the property price has soared.
Right.
That just shows how much demand there is. And we're back to the drawing board now. And obviously, needless to say that it's gotten very hard for them now. Things, you know.
But here's the thing. Belief kills and belief cures. If you believe that the real estate market is no good and that you're going to, make mistakes, then you're going to make it
even at a 2% interest rate. But when you don't understand the trend.
But where do you start? Do you start with, okay, let's look at the overall economy and look at the way the world is going. And, hey, I think there's a lot of people hearing that there's another lockdown possibly coming. What else is going on? So these are the negatives that create the fear out there. And what I am saying is that you have to create the security within yourself. You have to say, okay, look, I'm going to live no matter what. I'm going to deal with life. Somebody, a friend of mine, a doctor, was having a conversation with me yesterday about some agenda that's coming out around the next election and what that's going to mean for me and the business. And listen, when I was 18, I let those things concern me. I remember I went to Boys Champs in Jamaica. Boys Champs is a big, everybody listening is okay. For those who are not Jamaican, Boys Champs is where all of the high schools in the island meet in terms of a competition, and it is a pretty big competition, and to be able to be a part of that or just attend that for a high school athlete was a big deal. So I get to Boys Champs at 10, 12, 13 years old, and I remember there were these people handing out these pamphlets about the Roman Catholic Church being the Antichrist, and and I got so scared, and I was so stressed out about it. I went back to school and I was discussing it with my religious education teacher, Miss Roper, the wife of the headmaster. And she said, look, the Bible tells us, Jesus tells us that no one knows when the time is coming, when the end of the world will come. And that your job is to do your best right now, to be able to enjoy the moment, to celebrate your life, and that this is the gift that God has given you. And I'm saying, do not let the news and the negative media and the negative information, do not let your spouse or your why are you smiling?
Spouse, okay.
Yeah, because some people have spouses that say, no. You can't buy a house. Buying a house is out of our league. We don't want to do that. You're going to create problems. Some people have parents who say, why would you buy a house right now? Some people have good friends who own them house and telling them friends.
And some people
buying a house.
Some people have family members that step in to say, hey, you know what?
Help them out.
If you want to buy.
We love those, and we
I did a deal last month. It was supposed to be my main client.
Yeah.
The mom came, the brother came, and they got themselves a beautiful property. Yeah. And it's just so heartwarming.
Yep.
So listen to the right people.
Well, who's
Not
the
wrong
right people?
I think the right people, in my opinion, first of all, do your own research. The story that I shared, I don't think anybody's going to object to it. A lot of people are noticing the same thing, especially those who didn't buy. And it's not going to get any better. In fact, what's happening is it's getting harder and harder for people to qualify, because this whole insurance is going up and all was not going on in November. The rates were a lot better. Price, we already know, was a little better. So this couple could have easily gotten into that home. Easily. Now it's that much harder because their income hasn't changed compared to how the market has changed. So absolutely, guys, do your research, look around. You're not going to find one person that will say, I got something cheaper because I waited.
Yeah. No, well, and why? Again, I'm 2009, the market crash. I have to acknowledge that. So is it possible that the market can crash? Yes. Good morning, Duke of Earl. Full respect. Give thanks, man. The market can crash. But I'm telling you, this time around, there's too much money that's been flooded into the market. There's too much uncertainty that we're seeing in the stock market. There's too much areas that of weakness. And you hear it, that the corporate interests are buying up real estate, that there's this.
When I get the listings, I constantly am solicited by these hedge fund firms that say, I got an email yesterday that we want to buy 4 more in the same community. So, and they'll give a really ridiculously low ball offer.
Right.
So if you list your property for $299, for example, they'll come at $180.
Yeah.
And then they'll go, okay, we'll do $212 and that's it. And we can just wrap it up right away.
And for people who have the equity, for properties that need the repairs.
They will go for it, and they are taking over. But yet still, it's not a big percentage yet. The point is that, it's time to have a serious discussion. If you feel that if you want to participate in this opportunity, first thing that I would tell clients is start looking at real estate as an opportunity.
Yeah.
And not as, and if you cannot look at it as an opportunity, if you're looking at something that weighs heavy the minute you think about it, don't come out to buy.
Well, hold on. There's something that's happening. When you look at the news and you hear what's going on with property insurance, and when you have situations where nobody's going to, insure that property because of the condition of the roof, you feel real estate is horrible. And I'm telling you,
But then you just look at your rent.
I'm telling you, after 33 years, that is the smoke screen. You see all of these negative news about real estate, about insurance, about the cost of maintenance, about building supplies going up, about nobody building anymore, about all of these negative things. And I'm telling you, every time in my 33 years that this has happened, I see the big boys stepping in and the smart investors, because you know these people who own real estate, and you go, but you never see him buy nothing yet. Him always just holding on to something, and then you see him buy something, and you go, why never buy when everybody else was buying? Why? It's the contrarian approach to investing, and I'm telling you, when everybody is saying the market is crashing, that's the time where smart investors start looking, start shopping, and start taking advantage of great opportunities.
Absolutely. The whole thing about real estate is when you talk to people who are successful, whether it's they're in a profession of law, whether they're doctors, whether, they own other businesses. Dentists, anything. If you ask, 10 of those people, I think 9 would say that the real wealth came from real estate, though. They run their business, whatever the business is, but the actual money they made is because of the money the business brought in and they invested into real estate.
Right.
You started the show talking about freedom. And real estate provides one of the biggest opportunities to be free as you continue to live in a system.
Right.
Because when you own your own home, you start participating in the equity game. Will the market crash? Yes, it can. Everything goes up, everything goes down. The market did crash more than once before. People who didn't panic and kept their homes and just kept making their payment always came out as a winner.
Right.
So this whole idea that market will crash doesn't make any sense to me. We closed a couple of deals last week. Let's say the market crashes tomorrow. How is that going to affect how's that going to change anything in my clients' lives who already own a home? They are making their payments. We know that what the kind of home to get them that it's not falling apart, with checking the roof and stuff and that. So market crashes. They have a fixed interest rate loan. They have their insurance right because the property, we saw to it. We at least make sure that when people are buying or selling, basic stuff is done, that they shouldn't get this after 6 months a letter that insurance is going to be cancelled or going up. Mm-hmm. That's where working with people who've been in industry for a very long time comes in.
Right.
So the market crashes tomorrow. These couples are fine. They're just making their payment, keep making their payment. Maybe in a very crazy universe, the property price will go upside down. They don't care. They keep making their payment. 3-4 years go by and the market comes right back around.
Right. Well, okay. So number one, we're not suggesting that is the strategy.
No, what I'm trying to explain.
That there's no risk.
There is no risk.
Hold on. There is no risk. Because like right now, and this is personal. I have a couple, and I hope they're listening this morning. They bought a house, they sold their home, they bought another home up in Port St. Lucie. Life is going well. We hear from them again. They want to buy another home. They want to develop a business idea. And we say, okay, there's a right way to do this, and we structure everything and we get it done. And last week, and I appreciate that I have that they have that trust where they're willing to share what's going on with me. So with great respect, this isn't by no means, discussing their business. I'm saying, me and Vanya, we have arguments. We have disagreements about. Right now, I have somebody who is gardening and taking care of our landscaping that I am so excited about. But it costs money, and she wants to put in new plants and different things happening. So we have a budget, and we're arguing about that. And likewise, this other couple have this argument, and what I am afraid of is that these two houses and their investment will fall by the wayside because of the arguments. And I'm saying you need to focus on your lifestyle and your relationship first. You need to make sure you know what you want for yourself, and that the people around you are on the same page
thing.
and they want the same
don't
page.
let these talks about market and this and that affect you.
Yeah, the market is in your home. That's
exactly.
the market.
Like the example I'm using for these people who just bought is that it doesn't. They're owning their home. That's their home. They're gonna make it pretty. They're gonna live in it. Sometimes happy, sometimes sad. They're gonna enjoy it, right? But there are people who are sitting on the side going, but what if it crashes? And they don't own anything. And I am sitting here surviving 2 crashes, telling you that a crash doesn't mean anything unless you go ahead and refinance and take 100,000 out of your house and go into this ridiculous modification plan 2 months after you take it out, knowing very well that, you took it out for the reason that is not going to work out, or blow that money. People make real estate mistakes too.
Yeah.
Don't confuse a real estate mistake with a market crash.
Yeah.
Because when the market crashed last time, people who knew how to manage their assets just continued on.
Yeah. Duke was saying that the investors are buying these houses to fix them up and rent them out and then sell them back later. Duke, I don't think the latest strategy is to even sell them back. I think they're fixing these houses, maintaining these properties, because they know that people who don't buy now
or cannot buy
will always have to rent, and that you'd say, okay, you had these housing developments. Well, okay, they're now picking up these houses to develop them as housing for people who can't afford to buy and knowing that they have to live somewhere.
Exactly. And that's where the control comes in. That's where you give up your freedom.
Right.
You don't give up your freedom by owning a mansion in a gated community where they charge you $150 a month to maintain your lawn. That's the rich feeling. You don't give up your freedom when you live in a condo and a $500 maintenance fee that practically covers even water. Never asking how much water you're using. All you pay is FPL. Those are choices you make to live a hassle-free life.
Right.
Where you lose your freedom is when you absolutely now know that you cannot buy.
Yeah.
And you have to live somewhere. And you can't afford to live in a good area or the houses, that are not a part of these projects. And I don't mean project in the way project means, like not such a good area, because that's not how I mean. I mean development projects that are being developed all around us. Plantation, Hollywood, Davie, everywhere you go, you see these little condos springing up. These are being developed, so these people would have no choice but to live there.
Well, as I said, today we're getting personal and his freedom. Duke acknowledging his point. He's saying if you have a $550,000 house today in an okay neighborhood and you sell it and you want to move into a nicer neighborhood, you're going to pay $650. So what's the point? Well, the point is the new neighborhood is going to give you more upscale potential that 5 years from now, that area is going to be worth $1 million, whereas the 550 now maybe only worth 750.
Well, I have a different point of view there.
Yeah.
People who own a home, they come to me and they say they want to buy another home. And if they want to upgrade downgrade best, because, you have so much cash, you can do whatever. Many people come and say, family has grown, I have to go to a bigger home. The first thing you want to look at is how to keep what you have and leverage the equity that you have in that home and use it as a future rental property to go ahead and pursue your dream to buy the bigger home. That is how it should be done today. Right? However, if there is no way to keep that home, and the only way it makes sense is to sell that home so you can go into a bigger, better home.
Right.
Even if the next home is going to cost you $650,000, you're going to walk away with a good amount of money that you would put down on that $650,000 home versus somebody who didn't own anything.
Right.
Now, if you don't make good money, that means for a $550,000 home, you owe $500,000 because either you kept refinancing or you just bought it.
No, let's say you pay it off, it's free and clear.
Free and clear. Wait, let me finish my point.
Okay.
I'm saying, and in what scenario, it just is so ridiculous that, I'm selling this for $550 and now where I want to go is $650. I'll tell you, if you own a home that's worth $550,000 and you owe $500,000 on it, stay with me on this. And why? Why is it? Because three reasons. Number one, you kept refinancing to take the cash out.
Right.
What did you do with the cash? You didn't put it away. Right? Because if you did, then they come to me and say, Bania, the money I took out, I've invested and I have it there.
Right.
I don't care if I get only $50,000 in hand or $40,000 after paying whatever dues are there. And that would be more than enough for me, plus the money that I already took out. Perfect. But if you don't have that money put away, because you kept taking that cash out and you kept using it for things that did not help you save but spend all that money, then absolutely it's not going to work. So that person complaining is not going to be, that is the person who's going to go tell somebody who's thinking of doing that with a whole different scenario where they have probably paid their home off. That, you're going to be a loser because you're going to sell this and you're going to go buy the other one for $650, right? The second situation where you owe you're going to sell for $550 but buy for $650 is because you just bought it. Right? So in that case, that absolutely is not the right move. Because if you bought it, like this couple's decision to buy another property, loved it. They bought the first home with a decent down payment. They're working with such a good plan, and they got some funds through some sources. And instead of sitting on it, they said, hey, we have a decent mortgage here that we don't need to touch. Vanya, what happens if I buy another one to move into?
Right.
Not even too far from this one, but better, nicer, newer, and this becomes an investment property. Because in the new one too, I'm going with a decent down payment because of the money we got from other sources rather than leaving in the bank.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Makes perfect sense. So the point I'm trying to make is that your situation cannot be similar as the situation of the person who's trying to tell you that's not a good idea, or
Would you say that the point you're really making is that it's personal, that
it is,
everybody's
yes,
situation
it's extreme,
is different?
and that is exactly why, because the situation is different. Generalizing it under the cover of the market will crash or the rates are high is how people lose on opportunities.
And that's why we say call us at 954-866-2171. Again, that's 954-866-2171. I'm going to let Luciana tell you one more time.
And I got this message for you. No matter where you are in the world, sunshine beaches and reggae music is nice, especially in South Florida. And if you're ever looking for opportunities in South Florida for real estate, remember to call Tax Done at 954-866-2171 or visit them at taxdone.com and tell them you were sent by Luciano, the messenger. Oh, Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. As I said, the number to call is 954-866-2171. Tax Done. And it done. Messenger says so.
I don't know why that sounds a little fast. It sounds like it's speed up. So I'm using this software and I'm learning. Last week, if you tuned in, good morning, Brian Thelwell. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Good morning, Stephanie White, and anybody else whose name I can't read because I can't see the screen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for joining us. If you're listening on the radio this morning at WAVS, you're listening to Dax and Vanya, we're having a conversation about freedom, the freedom of each individual to pursue their dreams. And we want to tell you, don't let your friends, family, or even your wife prevent you from pursuing your dreams. Go after what you want.
Or your husband.
Yeah. Don't let your husband get in your way. Just say, look, I'm going to do what I want to do. And
I need your income, so better bring your W-2. And you better not have all these debts.
For years, I remember, maybe I shouldn't even say this, but...
Maybe you shouldn't.
I'm going to say it. There's so many times, years, where a husband and wife would come in and the husband would say, listen, don't tell my wife about this car. It's a co-sign for my friend. And, and the wife would say, I helped my son with this or my friend with this. And you have these little secrets and stuff. But I'm telling you guys, today, more than ever, we need to
work together.
But you have to go inside, and if you're with somebody who don't suit you, then move on. I trust me, Vanya has caused me to really think about, is this am I with the right person?
Oh my God, I don't
think
believe
about
this.
it, man. I seriously investigated.
And the best way to declare is on the radio, thousands of people listening.
Thousands of people
and people
listening.
watching
I'm telling
on Facebook.
you, after a good hours of study, she is the one that I'm gonna stick with. Yeah. Do you think about it? Do you think about, are you with the right person?
Well, I think everybody thinks about it.
Yeah. Do you?
I think everybody thinks about it.
Okay. See, she can't answer the question, so she's not with the right person.
No, that's not true. The point I'm making is that those thoughts are common. And if you're not thinking that, then you are definitely not as involved or invested in the relationship. No one can sit here and say that I'm always okay with this situation all the time. I think where it prevails for me personally is that even when those thoughts come, to know that the person may have so many qualities that you hate, but where you feel so awesome is that even with that, you can't stop loving that person. So when you look at it from that angle, even if the question comes, and it does come to my mind many times as well, that, what am I doing? Am I with the right person? And then I can't really imagine myself without the person,
Right.
which
person?
is,
Which person?
I purposely said that just to get you. So when I can't imagine myself without the person,
Right.
which is you, I can answer those questions. So, see,
Listen.
we're going from real estate to personal
But
advisors.
that's where it begins.
I
Your
agree.
life is 100% you and your position with your. There are people living in beautiful houses, driving
they're unhappy.
amazing cars, and they just can't look at themselves in the mirror. They are not in love with their life and who they are. And I'm telling you, I love my life. I love Vanya, but if she were no longer with me, I would be fine. Trust me. You hear Dax kill himself because no,
What?
not happening. I'm telling you that when I have been at stages in my life where I thought the circumstances were just so horrible and so horrendous for that moment, and in that moment you don't know. But that's what life gives you, the experiences to get to that point where you go, if not now, when? If not me, who? If I can't enjoy my life right now, when am I ever going to enjoy it? At 53 years old, after all of the things I've been through, to now sit and say, I am unhappy because of anything is foolishness, in my opinion. So whatever is going on in the news, I don't care. Whatever is going on with my kids, I care, but I don't let it stress me out. Whatever is going on with Vanya, I just love her. I know that, she can do her thing, and I am not going to take it on as my thing. And I'm saying, I'm telling you, no matter where you are or what you're doing in life, you have a choice. And I'm encouraging you, look within. Breathe deeply. Realize that you don't have to be stressed out. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to be frustrated. You don't have to be upset. You can love yourself. You can love everything that you have. I was telling my daughter yesterday that every single disappointment, every single emotional stress she's had, she should love it. She should own all of it, because all of it has given her this experience, this foundation of life for her to say, this is what I want now. This is who I am now. And I'm telling you, I be I, you be you, that me is all about that. It's all about you making that choice and paying attention to doing the things that are right for you.
Absolutely. I think a lot of decisions that we make in life, if we're not coming from a clear point, end up being not so fruitful. So yeah, I would confirm that yes, you have to pay attention to the market, you have to pay attention to where things are going, and to make a wise move accordingly.
Yes.
But absolutely, when you look around you and see, try to understand something at a very basic, at a very local level. The example I shared earlier today with this couple on the same street, two houses.
Right.
And one house in January, fully fixed up to the house now, last week. I almost remember I told you, because you came with me, I was like, this is the one I showed to them.
Yeah.
And I was like, what, it didn't sell? I thought it was sold. That's how identical they were till you opened the door. And, I was...
Every single property is different. This idea that, the house down there is sold for that, you don't know the circumstances of the family, you don't know the conditions of the property, you don't know the reality of that situation. And that's the beauty of it, that we do not make the assumption that because you have a certain credit score, because you have a certain income, because you have a certain amount of money down, or because you're looking in a certain price range, that you are anything other than a brand new person, a brand new relationship, an opportunity for us to get to know you. Not just us, for our team to give you that support, to get to find out What makes you excited? We don't want to just sell you a house. We want to find you a home that suits your needs and, you know, matches your lifestyle, right? That's the whole thing. That this idea of lifestyle seems like this big ask. Good morning, Dennis Freckleton. Yes, Duke, we're talking to people this morning. We're waking them up to the reality that your life is a choice and you have to make that choice to pay attention to what's right for you. And if you're looking for people who are willing to spend the time to get to know you, to listen and understand your circumstances, and then recommend options because they have the experience. Are you living your ultimate lifestyle?
I would I would say so because, and again, it didn't happen overnight. Mm-hmm. You know, there have been a lot of challenges and there have been a lot of ups and downs that has brought me, you know, to this place. Yeah. Those experiences that I can say that, you know, it definitely, I am living, you know, but again, it's different personalities because I'm always.
I tell you something that actually happened to me. I was watching a TikTok because, you know, I watch a lot of TikTok. And I saw this place in Bali where a drone followed this young woman through the house, and she, you know, goes over a balcony, and you see a guy do a backflip into a pool, and it's just this amazing property. And I look back at my house and I go, am I compromising? Am I really living my ultimate life? And I'm telling you, after I think about it, yes, I don't live in a big fancy house. I don't live in, you know, a gated community, but I live in a place that speaks to me, that the nature around, just sitting and watching the birds on the bird feeder, watching something like a turtle show up in the yard and just, you know, walking through and out the front gate, having these big egrets come and sit and watch them grab these lizards, you know. That's what makes my lifestyle great. You know, I have a motorcycle that I love riding, but I'm not a sports car person. Vanya has a big Tundra that she lets me drive sometimes. And, you know, I'm saying you are probably already living your ultimate lifestyle, but you're not paying attention to yourself. You're looking and comparing yourself to other people, and you're saying, well, you know, I don't have this or I don't have that. But if you are over the age of 25 and you're still looking around, I'm telling you, don't waste your time. Look within yourself.
If you're healthy.
Get healthy first. Get a understanding of your responsibility to be healthy. Dennis, I know you're struggling with your wellness, and I want to encourage you to continue being positive, continue believing in your health and your recovery, and I wish you all the wellness, my friend. For anybody who is out there sick and not being their best, I want to tell you, you can be well. Let go of the stress, let go of the fear, let go of the uncertainty. Fill your life with love. Not love for others, love for yourself. When you're full of love, that love will flow out. That's why Vanya can't leave, because the love that I have for me keeps just bringing her back. Right, baby?
Yes. This is this has become a very interesting show.
A good show.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made it so interesting for you?
No, it's sounding like couples therapy.
Oh, we need therapy?
No, you are the therapist. Somebody asked me the other day, does your husband follow some spiritual guru? Because, you know, and I just kept looking at them and they're like, which one? And I said, well, he is a guru. He's not following anyone. And with this beard, if you want to see how Dax looks right now these days, please send a Facebook request or check out our YouTube channel, because all the shows are posted there. He's definitely turning into a guru.
So the shirt, if you're curious about it, is I just got it. I literally.
Where did you?
I bought it on Amazon,
I mean,
and it's linen and it's sleeveless, and I just thought it might be the right fit, you know.
You know who wore that? Yeah. People who from India who came to Jamaica in 1900s.
The coolies.
Whatever the name it is, I don't care. But they wore that. Those people, who's even selling this these days?
Solidarity, love it.
I want to.
Yes,
I want to see the site.
Yes, Duke
that's
is an
selling.
Indian shirt.
Yeah, and that too, like
All
really
right,
village.
Listen. We're running out of time. I'm gonna
Yep.
play my last song. Say
And-
something nice and let's go.
Yes, we are going to be doing some work after the exchange. No, it's a nice shirt. It's just because I know it one way.
Yeah.
I need to get used to it.
Yeah.
How long is it?
What do you think about a dashiki?
What is that?
All right, I'm going to get a dashiki. Duke, where can I get a dashiki so I can...
Get-
Dennis, I know you know the dashiki. Dennis is a guy of style. Dennis always will style up.
How long is this shirt? It's pretty long. Let me see. Let people... Oh, okay. Yep. That's it.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to
Real deal.
I'm going to take a picture and send it to my family.
Your family going to see it on Facebook.
Yes.
All right, guys, have a great day. Love you. IBI, you be you.
and you be you. We're living in the same world, but we got two different people. I be and you be you. With a little faith in our heart, we can move mountains. I do just what I want, I do just what I please. I'm not a follower, I have nothing up my sleeve. Don't tell me what to do, how to do, won't ask me just why. God is my master,